You are about to discover the 20 rarest and most enigmatic animals on the planet. Creatures so unique that you have almost certainly never seen them up close in real life. They inhabit isolated forests, deep oceans, distant mountains, and even lost islands, always far from human eyes. Some look as if they came straight out of ancient myths. Others resemble characters from science fiction, but all of them are living proof of nature's infinite creativity. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now let's begin. Number 3. The axolotl, a real-life dragon. The axolotl, for example, may look like a dragon born from imagination, yet it is real. This ogre fish, despite its small size, shows how life finds extreme solutions to survive in the harshest habitats. With striped legs and an elegant body, the axolotl reminds us that almost mythical creatures can exist even in the deepest forests. What touches me most is realizing these species are not just exotic, they are fundamental to ecosystem balance. When they disappear, they take with them invisible connections that sustain life. Protecting a rare animal is also protecting rivers, forests, oceans, and human communities that depend on this harmony. Many of these species are at risk, some with fewer than 500 individuals. This is alarming, yet inspiring. Every positive action counts, whether supporting environmental projects, reducing the consumption of products that destroy habitats, or simply sharing knowledge. I believe videos like this play an essential role. They spark curiosity, enchant viewers, and most importantly, raise awareness. My hope is that each viewer of Os Melhores da Natureza leaves not just amazed, but also inspired to care more about life in all its forms. Nature is wise, resilient, and creative, but also fragile. The future of these animals is in our hands. May we be the generation that chooses to preserve, so future generations can continue marveling at the miracles that inhabit this extraordinary planet. Closing thoughts. We have reached the end of this magical expedition through the world of the rarest and most extraordinary animals on Earth. We saw that nature knows no bounds when it comes to creativity, from fish that walk with hand-shaped fins to enigmatic mammals that seem like living legends. Some are giants that command respect, others are tiny yet carry secrets that science is still trying to decipher. The most striking realization is that many of these animals are on the brink of extinction. The baiji has disappeared from China's rivers, the hirula struggles against desertification in Africa, and the Mexican axolotl holds within it the power of regeneration. Each of them delivers a clear message. If we do not take care of the planet, we will lose unique stories of life. Yet hope remains. Conservation projects, natural reserves, and the dedication of local communities show that we can make a difference. Number 4. The hirula, a rare antelope, slipping between Kenya and Somalia. In the dry plains between Kenya and Somalia moves one of the rarest antelopes on the planet, the hirula Beatragus hunteri. Elegant, standing 1.255 meter 4 ft, tall, and weighing up to 120 kilo, 265 lbs. It has brown fur and eyes marked with dark rings, giving a melancholic expression. The hirula is unique. It is the last living species of its genus. If it disappears, an entire branch of the evolutionary tree will vanish. In the 1970s, there were over 15,000 individuals. Today, fewer than 500 remain in the wild. Threats include habitat loss, illegal hunting, diseases transmitted by domestic herds, and increasingly severe droughts. Some populations have been relocated to protected reserves in Kenya, but numbers remain alarming. The Beatragus hunteri is not just rare, it is irreplaceable. Its extinction would mean not only the loss of a species, but the end of an entire lineage. Throughout this incredible journey, it felt like exploring a hidden treasure chest. Each rare animal we encounter is not merely a biological curiosity, but a reminder that our planet still holds wonders we barely understand. Number 5. The pygmy three-toed sloth, the slow guardian of the Caribbean. On the small Isla Escudo de Veraguas in Panama lives a nearly mythical creature, the pygmy three-toed sloth, Bradypus pygmaeus. Endemic to this tiny 5-kilometer cruise 1.9 MIA2 island, it is the smallest member of its family. Size, about 50 cm 20 in. Weight, less than 4 kg, 8.8 libras. Despite its small size, its importance is immense. Its world is the island's mangroves. It feeds on leaves, digesting them so slowly that algae grow on its fur, aiding camouflage. It moves only about 38 meters, 125 ft per day, as if time follows a different rhythm in its existence. Discovered only in 2001, it is already on the critically endangered list. Estimates suggest only 100 to 300 individuals remain. Unregulated tourism, pollution, and illegal fishing constantly threaten its habitat. Though small, Bradypus pygmaeus is a global call for preservation. Even the planet's most isolated places need protection. Number 6. The purple frog, Nazca batratio sayadrensis, the subterranean enigma of India. In the Western Ghats mountains of southern India lives one of the planet's most enigmatic amphibians. The purple frog, with a rounded body, intense purple coloration, and a pointed snout, Nazca batratio sayadrensis, was scientifically described only in 2003, making it a true biological discovery, measuring 7 to 9 centimeters. 2.8 to 3.5 in. It spends nearly the entire year buried up to 3 meters, 10 ft underground, feeding on termite and ant larvae with a surprisingly long, sticky tongue. Its croak is equally peculiar, reminiscent of a muffled duck quack. This frog emerges for only a few weeks during the monsoon to breed in temporary pools, then disappears underground once more. This unique adaptation ensures its survival in a harsh environment, but also makes it extremely vulnerable. Currently, it is listed as threatened by the IUCN. Agricultural expansion, urbanization, and deforestation of wet forests have drastically reduced its habitat. Number 7. The hooded grebe, the secret dancer of Patagonia. Argentine Patagonia is one of the most enigmatic places on the planet, a land where the winds howl like ancestral voices, mountains rise like glacial walls, and lakes reflect the sky in metallic blue. It is in this isolated and wild setting that one of the rarest and most fascinating birds in the world lives, the hooded grebe, Podokeps gallardoi. Few outside the circle of ornithologists and environmentalists have heard of this bird, and that's no coincidence. With a population of fewer than 1,000 individuals, its life is confined to isolated, cold lakes, hidden from civilization. Yet those lucky enough to witness its existence speak of a transformative experience. The hooded grebe is not just a water bird, it is the guardian of a secret ballet, a mating display that combines synchrony, delicacy, and intensity. A true poem choreographed by nature, capable of rivaling any human-created dance performance. Appearance: compact elegance. At first glance, it may seem like just another water bird, but look closely and its uniqueness becomes apparent. Size: about 32 centimeters, 12.5 inches in length. Weight: around 250 to 300 grams, 8.8 to 10.6 Oz. Body: compact, adapted for short dives, with dense plumage that repels icy water. Plumage: black and white in strong contrast, as if always dressed for a formal event. Head crowned with a dark hood, giving it a mysterious and noble appearance. Eyes: intense red like small embers shining against the white face. The result is a combination of discretion and elegance, ideal for life in shadowy lakes but striking enough to attract mates during the breeding season. Hidden habitat: the secret lakes of Patagonia. The hooded grebe is found only in a very limited area of southern Argentina, in regions of Patagonia, especially in the provinces of Santa Cruz and Chubut. There, among icy mountains and barren plains, lie lakes that serve as the species' last refuge. These lakes have specific characteristics, fed by mountain meltwater, cold, crystal clear waters, aquatic vegetation sufficient for shelter and sustenance. Often temporary, existing only during certain seasons. This extreme dependence on such a specific habitat is one of the factors that make the species so vulnerable. A change in rainfall or snowmelt can radically alter its environment. The secret dance, an aquatic ballet. During the austral spring and summer, a rare spectacle takes place. Pairs of hooded grebes begin a courtship ritual that resembles a carefully rehearsed choreography. First, they swim side by side in perfect synchrony, like mirrors of each other. Then, they start shaking their heads in measured movements, creating their own rhythm. Next, they rise partially out of the water, displaying their contrasting plumage. Finally, they perform small jumps across the surface, subtly flapping their wings. This dance is more than a visual spectacle. It is a test of partnership. Pairs must demonstrate perfect coordination, as reproductive success depends on their cooperation. If one partner fails to keep pace, they are unlikely to form a lasting pair. Few have had the privilege of witnessing this ballet. Many researchers report that even after years of study, observing the dance is an almost spiritual experience. Nesting, fragile nests in uncertain waters. The hooded grebe builds its nests in areas of floating aquatic vegetation. Materials are collected from the lake itself and woven to form a partially submerged base. Eggs, usually 2 per season. Incubation, about 21 days, by both parents' chicks. Gray down at birth, often carried on the parents' backs while learning to swim. This dependence on floating nests makes any change in water levels devastating. Strong winds, storms, prolonged drought, or dams can destroy entire generations within hours. Feeding, the survival menu. The hooded grebe is an opportunistic predator adapted to catching small aquatic prey. Its diet includes aquatic insects and larvae, small crustaceans, mollusks, tiny fish. But one of its greatest enemies is the introduced salmon in Patagonian lakes. Farmed for sport fishing, salmon compete for the same food and sometimes even attack the grebe's chicks. This seemingly harmless human interference has profoundly altered the region's ecological balance. Threats: a future at risk. The hooded grebe faces a growing list of challenges. Global warming, less snow in the Andes reduces or shallows lakes fed by meltwater. Invasive species, salmon and trout compete or prey directly. Dams, alter natural water flows. Human disturbance, tourism, sport fishing, and urban expansion. Low genetic diversity, a small population is highly vulnerable to disease or sudden changes. Each year, the number of individuals declines. Without serious intervention, the species could vanish within decades. Conservation, guardians of the invisible ballet. Despite the risks, conservation efforts are underway. Environmental organizations and universities work to protect the species' last refugees. Actions include population monitoring in strategic lakes, environmental education campaigns with local communities, discussions on controlling invasive species, projects to preserve fragile aquatic habitats. Yet the challenges remain immense. Keeping the dance alive requires long-term commitment, continuous funding, and global awareness. Mystery in the frozen landscape. Patagonia is a land of extremes, cutting winds, glacial lakes with blue waters, and vast near-desert steppes. In this harsh environment, the hooded grebe has found its perfect niche: shallow temporary lakes rich in submerged vegetation. These habitats are rare and become even rarer when the climate changes. While other birds fly long distances to adapt, the hooded grebe remains faithful to a few specific locations, making it almost an exclusive symbol of Argentine Patagonia. Any environmental change directly affects its survival, the dance that fascinates scientists. As winter fades and spring warms the lakes, the performance begins. Male and female approach slowly, their movements almost rehearsed. First they swim side by side, then they circle, raising their necks and shaking their heads simultaneously. At a certain moment, as if cued by an invisible conductor, they advance across the water, chest raised, running together on the surface for a few moments before diving in synchrony. Very few observers have had the privilege of witnessing this complete ritual. The scene is so impressive that ornithologists describe it as a secret ballet hidden at the ends of the earth. This dance ensures the species' reproduction, and each year that suitable lakes disappear, fewer pairs can perform it. Silent threats. The hooded grebe faces devastating pressures. Climate change. Many temporary lakes evaporate before the breeding season. Invasive species, introduced fish such as trout and salmon, compete for the same food. Dams. Hydroelectric construction disrupts the formation of temporary breeding lakes. Small population. Fewer than 800 individuals are estimated worldwide, increasing extinction risk from disease or sudden habitat changes. Cultural and scientific symbol. In Patagonia, some call the hooded grebe the ghost bird, as it is rarely seen and disappears when the lake dries. Local communities believe that witnessing its dance is an omen of fertile land and abundant water the following year. For scientists, it is considered a living fossil in motion. Its lineage dates back millions of years, and its behavior preserves biological traditions from ancient eras. Every recording of its dance or quiet hoarse call is treated as a research treasure. Conservation, a race against time. Argentine environmental organizations and universities have worked to map all lakes that can still host the species. Protection programs aim to prevent predator fish from being introduced and reduce human impact. Environmental education projects in Patagonian schools teach children to recognize the bird and understand its importance. In 2022, an international emergency action plan was created, involving scientists from Argentina, Chile, and international specialists. The goal is to save not only the species, but also the fragile ecosystem that supports it. a faint hope. Despite threats, the hooded grebe continues to dance. On calm days, when the Patagonian wind takes a break, it rises above the water, lifting its neck proudly and performing hypnotic turns. For those who watch, it is like witnessing life's resistance against all adversity. The future of this bird remains uncertain, but every record, photograph, and conservation effort is a step toward ensuring that its aquatic ballet does not disappear forever. Rare encounters, the researchers' thrill. Few species in the world create as much excitement among scientists when finally sighted. The hooded grebe is one of them. In expeditions organized by Argentine universities and ornithology centers, biologists spend weeks in tents by remote lakes, facing intense cold and unceasing winds. In one such expedition in 2018, a research team went 14 days without any sign of the bird. On the 15th day, just as hope began to fade, a pair emerged silently from the water at dawn. The team described the scene as almost supernatural. The absolute silence of the surroundings, broken only by the sound of water, gave that moment an aura of revelation. Scientists report that watching the courtship dance up close is a transformative experience. Many describe a feeling of witnessing something not meant for human eyes, an intimate, primitive, and at the same time sophisticated ritual as if from another era. Myth among local peoples. For the oldest inhabitants of Patagonia, the hooded grebe is more than a rare bird. It is a water spirit. Some Mapuche legends describe it as a guardian of ephemeral lakes, appearing only when the land is still pure and fertile. Stories say that when the grebe dances, it calls the rains or announces fish abundance. Other tales claim it is a messenger between the human and spiritual worlds, appearing for those who seek answers or signs. These myths survive, passed down in stories around fires on cold nights, reinforcing the idea that preserving the species is both a scientific and cultural responsibility, a symbol of resilience. With fewer than 1,000 individuals on the planet, the hooded grebe carries immense symbolic weight. It is considered an emblem of environmental fragility, showing how minor changes in isolated ecosystems can affect an entire species. A beacon of hope. Each time a pair is seen dancing, researchers and environmentalists feel there is still time to reverse its critical status. A bridge between science and culture, its presence connects academic research with the mystical imagination of local peoples, the spirituality of the aquatic ballet. Ornithologists who have witnessed the dance affirm that it holds deep symbolism. The coordinated movements resemble human wedding ceremonies. The way the pairs rise and glide across the water seems like a celebration of union, a reaffirmation of life in the face of environmental hostility. Some scholars even suggest that observing this choreography could inspire new forms of art, ballets, or performances seeking to translate the spirit of the hooded grebe, the last frontier of observation. Despite growing international interest, seeing a hooded grebe remains an extremely rare privilege. The areas it inhabits are difficult to access, and the species stays hidden most of the time. Many tourists come to Patagonia hoping to spot it, but return only with memories of the wind and silence. Perhaps that is exactly what makes this bird so fascinating. It resists easy spectacle and keeps it secret in the remotest corners of the world. For the few who encounter it, the hooded grebe leaves a deep impression, a reminder that mysteries still exist on Earth, and nature still guards secrets untouched by human eyes. Number 8. The Bornean pygmy elephant. Elephas maximus borneensis, the gentle giant at risk. In the remote forests of Borneo lives a different kind of giant, the pygmy elephant, the smallest subspecies of the Asian elephant. Standing about 2.5 meters tall and weighing up to 3,000 kg, the Bornean pygmy elephant is nicknamed the happy forest elephant by locals due to its gentle temperament and friendly expression. Its features are unique: proportionally larger ears, a longer trunk, and a tail that almost touches the ground. This permanent juvenile appearance gives the impression that they are eternal baby giants. But the reality is harsh. Only 1,000 to 1,500 individuals remain. Deforestation for palm plantations destroyed their habitat, forcing them closer to villages, where they face conflicts with farmers, traps, and even poisoning. Every year, deaths are reported. Still, conservation efforts continue, including ecological corridors connecting them to forest areas, patrols against poachers, and environmental education programs. Number 9. The black-spotted cuscus Spelocuscus rufaniger, the shy spirit of the forest. In the dense jungles of New Guinea and surrounding islands lives a nocturnal creature that seems straight out of a surrealist dream, the black-spotted cuscus. With luxurious fur blending red and black patches, it resembles an exclusive velvet coat worthy of nature's runway. The Spelocuscus rufaniger measures between 40 and 60 centimeters in body length, with a prehensile tail reaching 50 centimeters, an essential tool for hanging on branches while searching for leaves, fruits, and even insects. Its slow and silent movement has led many local communities to consider it a forest spirit. Unfortunately, this rare beauty faces an alarming decline. Its population has decreased by more than 80% in recent decades due to deforestation and hunting. Its fur is still highly valued in some cultures, further increasing its risk of extinction. Encountering one in the wild is an extremely rare privilege. They are highly cautious, living high in the tree canopy and almost never coming to the ground. Number 10. The white serval of Seneca, or Leucistic Virginia ocelot. In the heart of an old military depot in New York, roams a creature so magical it could have come from a Celtic legend, the white serval of Seneca. Unlike albino servals with red eyes, this one carries a mutation called leucism, giving it snow-white fur and dark, piercing eyes. Its story began during World War II, when the area was fenced off to build a military base. Some servals were trapped inside and isolated from other groups. The population of white animals naturally increased. Today, fewer than 100 individuals remain in an area of just 44 km². For decades, these servals lived protected by military fences, untouched by hunters. But with the base's closure, a debate began about whether to turn the area into a nature reserve or develop it economically. For those who have seen the white serval gliding through morning mist, there is no doubt this is a living symbol of wildlife resilience. Number 11. The pangolin, Manus spp, the knight in mysterious armor. At first glance, the pangolin looks like a creature out of an ancient myth, covered in scales similar to human fingernails. When threatened, it curls into a perfect ball. There are 8 known species distributed across Asia and Africa, all classified as threatened, with some critically endangered. These nocturnal mammals range from 30 to 100 centimeters in length and can weigh up to 35 kilos depending on the species. They feed almost exclusively on ants and termites, which they capture with an incredibly long, thin, sticky tongue, sometimes reaching 40 centimeters. It's as if they carry a biological spear to hunt. The problem lies in their scales. Despite being scientifically useless as medicine, in several cultures they are still believed to have medicinal properties, fueling a devastating illegal trade. Thousands of pangolins are trafficked every year, making them the most trafficked mammals in the world. Today, all pangolin species, such as the Javan pangolin, Manus javanica in Southeast Asia, and the Temminck's pangolin, Smutsia temminckii in Africa, are on the IUCN Red List. Number 12. The Yangtze River dolphin Lepotes vexillifer, the ghost of the Great River. For millennia, the majestic Yangtze River in China was the stage for stories and legends surrounding an almost sacred animal, the baiji, or Yangtze River dolphin, slender-bodied, gray-colored, with an elongated snout resembling a subtle smile. This finless creature was considered a symbol of grace and purity. However, behind this beauty lay a silent tragedy. The baiji could reach up to 2.5 meters in length and weigh about 160 kilograms. With poor eyesight, it relied on a natural sonar to navigate the river's murky waters. For centuries, it coexisted harmoniously with fishermen and riverside communities, seen as a protective spirit. But industrial growth, rampant pollution, and heavy boat traffic transformed the Yangtze. In 2006, an international expedition confirmed the worst. No specimens were found, leading scientists to declare the species functionally extinct. If any baiji still exist in the deep waters, they would be among the last witnesses of a devastated ecosystem. The story of Lepotes vexillifer is more than sad. It is a powerful reminder of life's fragility and a warning for the future of rivers worldwide. Number 13. The Rondo dwarf galago. The Rondo dwarf galago, the ghost of the coastal forest. In the shadows of the coastal forests of Tanzania, a tiny and almost invisible primate leaps between branches, the Rondo dwarf galago, also known as Paragalago rondoensis. With a body of only 12 centimeters and a tail of 15 centimeters, it weighs less than 100 grain. However, its disproportionate eyes, larger than its brain, shine like beacons in the night. Discovered in 1950 and redocumented in the 1990s, this small prosimian lives only in forest fragments below 900 meters in altitude. It is considered one of the rarest primates in the world, with an estimated population of fewer than 2,500 individuals. Its routine is shy and solitary. It emits high-pitched calls to communicate and makes quick leaps that make it almost impossible to follow, which is why it earned the nickname Ghost of the Forest. The main threat is deforestation and agricultural expansion, which have fragmented its territory to minimal points. Today, the Rondo dwarf galago is listed as critically endangered by the IUCN. Protecting this species is not just saving a life, but also preserving a piece of Africa's evolutionary puzzle. Each galago is a spark of forest magic that vanishes in silence. Number 14. The Philippine eagle Pithecanthropus jeffrey, the silent sovereign of the jungle. Soaring among the lush green canopies of the tropical forests of the Philippines is a bird that looks like it came straight from prehistory. The Philippine eagle, also known as the monkey-eating eagle. It is one of the rarest and most powerful birds of prey on the planet. Majestic, it can reach up to 1 meter in height and a wingspan of 2.2 meters. Its shaggy crest and piercing gaze give it an imposing, almost mystical aura. Its talons, long and sharp, can capture prey such as monkeys, civets, and even small deer. But despite its strength, it is critically endangered, with fewer than 400 individuals left in the wild. Its greatest enemy is deforestation. Every century-old tree cut down means not only the loss of a home, but also of a nesting site. The Philippine eagle is a national symbol and is legally protected. It is so important that the government established the Philippine Eagle Day to emphasize its significance. Even so, its survival depends on joint efforts. Media groups, eagle reserves, conservationists, release programs, breeding facilities, habitat protection, and public awareness. Protecting the Pithecanthropus jeffreyi means preserving a king of nature, one that carries in its wings both the strength and fragility of the tropical jungle. Number 15. Darwin's frog, Rhinoderma darwini. In the temperate humid forests of Chile and Argentina, hidden among dry leaves and moss, lives the tiny but legendary Darwin's frog, measuring only 3 centimeters. Its perfect camouflage makes it look like a fallen leaf, but its greatest uniqueness lies in its reproductive method, a spectacle unlike any other in the animal kingdom. After the female lays the eggs, it is the male who takes on the responsibility. He swallows the fertilized eggs and shelters them inside an adapted vocal sac in his throat. There, the tadpoles develop in complete safety, protected from predators and disease, until they emerge already as tiny froglets. It is as if life itself were born from the father's voice. This extreme paternal behavior defies biological rules and is considered one of the most creative reproductive strategies on the planet. However, Rhinoderma darwini is classified as endangered by the IUCN. Deforestation, diseases like chytridiomycosis, a lethal fungus for amphibians, and climate change have drastically reduced its population. Each lost frog means the disappearance of an irreplaceable piece of evolutionary history. Protecting Darwin's frog is ensuring that this incredible form of parental care continues to inspire science and humanity. Number 16. The northern hairy-nosed wombat, Lacyrhinus crefti. Few mammals in the world carry an aura as rare as the northern hairy-nosed wombat found only in Queensland, Australia. This marsupial measures about 1 meter, weighs up to 40 kilos, and despite its robust appearance, is a shy nocturnal creature. Its light gray fur, hairy snout, and powerful claws make it a true underground architect. With them, it builds complex tunnels that can stretch for dozens of meters, keeping the temperature cool during scorching Australian days. These labyrinths also serve as collective shelters, since multiple wombats can share the same burrow. Curiously, unlike many marsupials, the females carry their pouch facing backward, preventing soil from getting inside while they dig. At night, they emerge in search of roots, herbs, and grasses, acting as natural gardeners of the savanna. The problem is, their population has dropped to fewer than 300 individuals, making it one of the rarest mammals on the planet. Conservation projects now monitor each specimen with camera traps and even microchips, trying to save this jewel of Australian wildlife. The northern hairy-nosed wombat is, above all, a symbol of resilience, silent, hidden, but still fighting to exist. Number 17. The elephant shrew, order Macrocelidae. With its curious name and appearance blending traits of different animals, the elephant shrew is one of Africa's most unique mammals. Despite its name, it is neither a shrew nor an elephant, but a distant relative of larger mammals. Small in size, it measures between 10 and 30 centimeters and weighs only 50 to 300 grams, but hides surprising agility. It can run up to 28 kilometers h, a true miniature lightning bolt. Its long, flexible snout works like a mini trunk, used to dig through soil in search of insects. But what is most impressive is its clever behavior. These animals build real highways across the forest floor, well-defined trails they use to escape predators and move quickly. It's as if they created a network of invisible tunnels on Earth. Some species, such as the short-eared elephant shrew, are already endangered due to habitat loss. Observing them in the wild is extremely rare, making them one of the most difficult mammals to study. The elephant shrew is a living reminder of ancient lineages, small shadows that survived Africa's transformations. Number 18. The shoebill Balaeniceps rex, in the heart of the swamps of Uganda, South Sudan, and Zambia, lives one of the most impressive and enigmatic birds in the world. Reaching 1.5 meters in height and weighing over 5 kilograms, it looks like a living relic from the age of dinosaurs. Its name comes from its gigantic shoe-shaped bill, which can reach 24 centimeters in length. This massive weapon works as a deadly trap. The bird stands motionless for hours until a lungfish, frog, or snake comes within reach. Then, with surprising speed, it strikes a fatal blow. In addition to its peculiar hunting style, the sound it produces is equally remarkable. It doesn't sing, but claps its bill loudly, creating a sound similar to a machine gun. Few sounds in nature are so impressive. Unfortunately, the Balaeniceps rex is threatened. Expanding agriculture, swamp drainage, and pollution have reduced its population to fewer than 5,000 individuals. Confronting this silent giant in the African mist is like encountering a creature lost in time. A true living dinosaur that still endures. Number 19. The AA, Daubentonia madagascariensis. In the tropical forests of Madagascar lives one of the strangest and most mysterious primates on the planet, the AA. With bulging eyes, large teeth, and enormous ears, it looks like a character from a horror movie. But its most striking feature is its middle finger, long, thin, and skeletal, used as a hunting tool. The Daubentonia measures about 40 centimeters, with a furry tail that can be longer than its body. At night, it roams the branches, tapping on tree trunks with its bony finger to locate hidden insects. Once it finds the right spot, it gnaws the wood with its sharp incisors and uses the finger like tweezers to pull out larvae and worms. This hunting technique is so peculiar, it almost resembles the use of a magic wand. For centuries, the AA was surrounded by superstition. Some communities believed it was a harbinger of death, which led to its persecution and killing. Today, its biggest threat is deforestation, which has drastically reduced its population. It is currently classified as endangered by the IUCN. Despite its unusual appearance, the AEI is a symbol of Madagascar's evolutionary diversity, proving that even the strangest beings have an essential role in nature's balance. Number 20. The ogre fish, Anoplogaster cornuta. In the darkest and most inhospitable regions of the ocean, more than 1,000 meters deep, lives a creature that looks like it crawled out of a nightmare. Despite measuring only between 15 and 20 centimeters, its terrifying appearance makes it one of the most impressive predators of the deep sea. Its body is dark and compact, with huge eyes adapted to capture any glimmer of light in the abyss. But what truly causes impact are its teeth. Long, thin, and so sharp they don't even fit inside its mouth. They remain permanently exposed, like daggers ready to pierce any unsuspecting prey. The ogre fish inhabits zones where pressure is crushing, sunlight never reaches, and life is scarce. To survive, it developed a voracious appetite and opportunistic behavior. It devours anything that fits in its mouth. Even though it's small, its threatening look earned it the title of Ogre of the Sea. Despite its monstrous appearance, Anoplogaster cornuta is one of the most fascinating examples of extreme adaptation in nature. Very little is known about its reproductive habits, since it is rarely seen alive. Most records come from specimens caught in research nets. Encountering an ogrefish is like witnessing a dark secret of the ocean, a reminder that in the deep sea, there are still creatures beyond our imagination. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting content appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.